What could that puff of warm air be? Let's see. Chapter 18, A Pair of Crowns. Before Dr. Wu moved to Buttonville, there were 3 moments in Pearl's life that she loved better than any others. The first time she found a bird's nest, the first time she pulled back her pillow to discover that the Tooth Fairy had visited, and the first time she rode a pony. This moment topped them all. The puff of air that touched Pearl's hand came from the muzzle of a unicorn. She stood so close that Pearl could have petted her silky white mane and touched her spiral horn. But Pearl didn't. She sat very still, afraid to scare the little creature, who was only a couple feet tall. The unicorn's hind legs trembled. That was when Pearl noticed that she held her right hoof slightly above the ground. She had been injured. "Oh, don't be scared," Pearl wanted to say. "Dr. Wu is going to help you. She'll make you all better." Pearl held out her hand the way you do with a dog that you don't know. And the foal smelled her and then bent her head just as the Unicorn King had bent his. Pearl returned the bow. She could have sat there all day, gazing upon this beautiful creature that only before was thought to exist in fairy tales. But Maximus Steele wanted her horn, and there was no way Pearl was going to let him have it. So slowly, Pearl stood, and keeping her hand closed around the fireflies, she slid her arms around the unicorn's belly and lifted. She smiled, happily to discover that the foal wasn't any heavier than a basket of laundry. And with silent speed, she began to retrace her steps, at least what she hoped were her steps. But as she searched for yellow yarn, no yarn could be found. "Don't panic," she told herself. Instinct pulled her forward. She was certain that she had come this way, certain that she would find a piece of yarn. Yet, never slowing her pace, Pearl ran and ran. The unicorn was warm against her chest, its heart beating as fast as a little bird's. Pearl wanted to tell the little creature that everything would be okay, but how could Pearl be sure? What if they were lost? What if the giant moth dove down from the clouds and carried the foal away? Doubt began to fill Pearl's mind. Her arms began to throb. "Come on, not much further. Keep going." And just as she thought she might drop the unicorn, a voice called from the darkness. "Pearl, we see the bobbing light. We're over here." The words vibrated through the darkness. And although Pearl was happy to hear Ben's voice, she knew the loud sound would bring danger. Roots began to rip from the ground and stomping arose. Ben's voice had awoken the flesh-eaters. Though she had little strength left, Pearl took a huge breath and pumped her legs. There had been no flesh on the metal trap, but there was plenty to be found on a girl and a unicorn. Ben was near. His voice was her path. "Pearl!" A blaze of light hit Pearl's eyes as she burst through the tangled forest. "Get back!" Dr. Wu warned. And stepping between Pearl and the dark wall, flesh-eaters poked out from the darkness, its petals snapping like jaws of a shark. Dr. Wu aimed a spray bottle, and a stream of liquid shot at the flower. The petals began to sizzle. The plant retreated with a hissing sound, and for a moment all was quiet. Except for Pearl, who was breathing like a racehorse. You've got spray that kills the flesh-eaters?" she asked. "How come you didn't give me some?" "Because you are not authorized to use it." Dr. Wu took the foal and laid her on the ground. Ben looked at Pearl. "You okay?" "Yes," she said. "You saved me. I was lost, but then I heard your voice." She hugged him so hard he groaned. "You're squeezing me too hard." "Oh, sorry," she said, letting him go. Pearl needed to catch her breath, but she also wanted to tell Dr. Wu everything. "He's in there, Maximus Steele. I saw him. He had a moth strapped to his back and he flew and he laid a trap." "That is terrible news that requires our attention," Dr. Wu said. "But right now we must focus on our patient. That is always our first priority." So Pearl sat beside and opened the medical bag, watching as Dr. Wu took the foal's temperature and felt her broken bones. While the doctor wrapped a bandage around the foal's ankle, Ben picked up the spray bottle and read the label. "Nasty weed repellent." "Nasty is not a word strong enough," Pearl said with a shudder. She'd never again complain about having to pull weeds out of the alley from behind the dollar store. Dandelions seemed like diamonds compared to the flesh eaters. Ben set the bottle back in the bag, and then his eyes widened. "Look." Pearl didn't know what to expect. Since Ben had met Dr. Wu and become her apprentice, nothing seemed ordinary. Was Ben staring at another carnivorous plant, or a swarm of fire-breathing dragonflies? Were the giants migrating in their direction? She swiveled around and squealed with joy. The Unicorn King was prancing down the path. Pearl scrambled to her feet, as did Dr. Wu. Everyone bowed. And with the creature calculator in hand, the doctor spoke. "The foal's ankle is sprained, but it will heal in a few weeks' time. She is very dehydrated, and she needs her mother's milk. Other than that, she will be just fine." The Unicorn King touched his nose with the foal's nose, and then he looked at Dr. Wu and neighed. Dr. Wu read the calculator's screen. "There is no need to thank me, Your Highness. My apprentice Pearl is the one who found your daughter." "His daughter?" Pearl asked. "She's a princess?" "Ow!" Then she grabbed Ben's sleeve and pulled him close. "Ben helped too. I was lost, and he was the reason that we found our way out of the dark forest." Ben's cheeks began to turn red. The Unicorn King neighed again. Dr. Wu read the screen. "He thanks you both and says that you are both to become members of his blessing." "Really?" Pearl asked. "Indeed. It is a huge honor." Dr. Wu slipped the calculator into her pocket and removed a pair of scissors from her bag. The king bowed, and Dr. Wu snipped 2 thin strands of hair from his mane. Then she carefully took Pearl's ponytail and let it loose. Pearl's hair fell to her shoulders. Dr. Wu touched the top of the unicorn strand to the middle part of Pearl's hair. Pearl felt a tingling sensation. "It attached itself," Ben said with a gasp. Though Pearl couldn't see it, the strand now looked as if it had grown right out of her hair. The king's white unicorn hair blended with Pearl's human hair. Then Dr. Wu tucked the second, shorter strand between Ben's hair. "It tickles," he said, and he watched Pearl as the strands attached itself to his head. "It's hidden," she assured him. "No one will ever see it." "It's so weird," Ben said, touching his hair. Pearl touched her hair too. "What does this mean?" Dr. Wu did not ignore this question. She answered it with her head held high, her voice full of pride. It means, Pearl Petal and Benjamin Silverstein, that you are now members of the Order of the Unicorn, and those are your crowns.